Yo, what's up, guys? So we're in Da Nang. It's absolutely an amazing day. We're on a Sky Bar right now, overlooking beautiful Da Nang right there.
Man,
Man, this is paradise right here.
paradise.
So, right? And I got
Paradise.
Julian again in today's episode, right? And today, what we're going to be discussing about is something that he has shown me. He's literally blew my mind when we had a conversation 2 days ago at the cafe. Remember?
Yes. Yep, I remember. I can't. It was a beautiful day because it was raining and we got drenched and soaked, and I felt like I was drowning. I swear.
That was crazy. It was actually crazy because in Da Nang, if you guys don't know, Da Nang is beautiful today, but when it rains, it pours.
Just like the song.
Right, just like this. No, you guys don't understand how much it rains. So on that day, we were in the cafe, we're just discussing a couple of things, and what we then discussed about was sugar.
Man, the killer. Number
killer.
one. We got to be careful with it.
So in that conversation, Julian blew my mind. And what we're going to discuss today is the consequences of sugar. So I'd like to lead us off, bro. Like, why is sugar so bad?
Bro, sugar is detrimental to the human brain, it is detrimental to the human body, and it is detrimental to the human soul. And the only reason why this is because it is extremely highly legally addictive. And it is legally, it's a substance that really is just in everything, honestly. So like, if we're not aware of these things, it can be extremely harmful to everything, every single thing.
Right.
So like the way that we perform, the way that we the way that we think, the way that we function, the way that we feel, right, emotionally. So it's very important for us to actually become more conscious and aware of what is going on.
Okay, interesting. Now, when people hear sugar, may mean a lot of things
Yeah.
to different people.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Julian? Are you talking about sugar that I put in my tea, in my coffee? Are you talking about processed sugar? Are you talking about sugar that's found in fruit? What are you talking about, Julian? Are you telling me that I cannot eat sugar entirely?
No, I'm just saying that, you got to be careful with the ultra processed sugars. That's 100% the killer right there. If it's going to be extremely highly processed, then you have to be careful. Like, what do I mean by that? Like candy, like chocolates, like things that are just stored on the shelf, right, in the supermarket, and that are just there for years and years and years, and their expiration dates are all the way until next year or the year after or 3 years after. Right. So these sugars are the ones that we have to attack. So not the natural ones, but the ultra super processed synthetic ones, the ones that are created, the additional sugars that are in whatever you're consuming.
Right, interesting. Now,
Yeah.
now let's break it down, because we all grew up with our parents telling us,
Yeah.
look, don't eat too much candy, it's really bad for you, your teeth are gonna go bad. Now, let's break that down into what actually happens when we consume sugar, what it actually does to us. When we were discussing, you mentioned something about an experiment that happened, and we're going to show it on the video as we speak here, but just walk us through what is actually happening right now.
Whew. Okay, so it's very profound, but good for you. I've done the rabbit hole thing, and honestly, I think that it's very simple, right? What it does is that it confuses your mind to believe that you are engaging with healthy substances, essentially making it like a gray wall or a gray blur in your everyday, day-to-day thought process, right? Not being able to relax is one of the most important aspects of this. So like, I'm very focused on recovery and nutrition, because I believe that if you can get the 80%, which is, if you can do the 80%, which is your nutrition, then you can be fine for whatever comes next. And that 20% is just fitness. But what I'm trying to say is that essentially the ways that sugar processes in your body is, if you're consuming insane amounts, and it could just be a Snickers bar, that to me is insane amounts, or Coca-Cola or Pepsi, whatever the case may be.
Right.
You have to be able to go at least 72 hours without ingesting sugar from then on for you to be able to function properly.
Interesting.
Yes.
So are you saying then when we consume, let's say a Coca-Cola, which I'm seeing right now actually at the bar as we speak, 4 Coca-Colas with ice and lemons right there.
Yeah.
So are you saying when we consume that Coca-Cola, the body takes how long to process?
At least 72 hours, at least. Depending on the human being, depending on the person, right? Then it could take 72 hours, up to 72 hours to get out of your system in order for you to start visualizing things clear, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. So what's happening in those 72 hours when the body is processing that Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
What's that opening up to?
It's opening up an avenue that just, again, blurs your vision, blurs everything in sight. You become lazier. You pretty much don't get anything done. So you lose productivity throughout the day. You feel a lot more comfort, and this is not okay, right? You start craving it. Your stomach automatically and your brain starts to crave sugar. So you start to say, oh, I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more. And then it becomes an addiction. But I want to be very clear. Sugar intake is powerful, okay? So for all of the people that are consuming sugar out there, which is 99 possibly % of the people, it is extremely important for you to know that it is possible to overcome this addiction, quote unquote. And it is possible for you to change, but it must come from within. So no judgment towards you. It's just something that we never learned. And since we are living in a high sped up lifestyle society right now, it is detrimental. They have really good marketing, I promise you. Coca-Cola has very good marketing, and this has been embedded in us for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting because when we talk about addiction,
Right.
when it comes to sugar, we don't have the same level of awareness when it comes to addiction. When it comes to alcohol, people can clearly point to say, okay, I've got an alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
When it comes to, let's say, I don't know, tobacco.
Yeah.
People say, I'm addicted to tobacco.
Yeah.
Or when it comes to, part of my language, sex. We look at sex and say, I am a sex addict.
Right.
We identify clear that there is an addiction here. Now, why isn't there the same amount of awareness when it comes to sugar?
It is because it's so good. It is so good. It is so good that it tastes good. I mean, we can't lie. I mean, everybody enjoys a donut, a cookie from time to time, a cake, a cheesecake, whatever the case may be. It's just the way that they designed it was for it to work. And it is doing that effectively until we catch on, until we start believing that there is another way. And that isn't possible unless we are able to break that addiction through either fasting, through mindset, or really just physical activity.
But why? Why should somebody be aware of their sugar intake? They might be saying, what are you saying here, Julian? Am I not supposed to eat Snickers? What are you saying to me?
I'm saying that you're prone to diseases, illnesses,
Wow.
and emotional instability,
Wow.
is what I'm saying. And then all that comes down to how you look at yourself in the mirror. Once you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, oh my God, I don't like what I see, well, I'm pretty sure almost 99% of the time it's because of your sugar intake or your behavior and habits when it comes to nutrition. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So what about the person that says, okay, hold on a minute, I'm more concerned about fat, Julian.
Yeah.
I need to lower my fat. Should that be my priority instead of sugar?
Well, fat is extremely important for our body as well. For you to have a very low fat percentage, body fat percentage, it isn't really necessarily healthy for the human body at all. So it is extremely important for us to recognize that, yes, there's going to be a give or take, right? It depends on how you utilize your body. If you're like, for example, I like to give the fat is used for high performers that are quick. For example, for a sprinter, for them to burn calories or to burn energy, essentially, their body tends to use more fat than carbs. And essentially, sugar is transformational or is stored as carbs in our body when we don't use it. So there's a very big difference, right? But sugar can turn into fat, of course, because it gives you, it opens the gate or the door, excuse me, it opens the door to laziness. And once we start sitting around like a couch potato, then we're not able to become aware that our gut is actually growing. Right.
So it actually affects the mentality that we have. It
Right.
affects our day-to-day life. Are you saying that the more sugar that we intake in our bodies, the more it actually affects how motivated that we're going to be
Right.
in our love life, in our work life, in our personal life?
Right. 100%. 100%. That is the key. Like, that is literally it. Like, I think that is the number one substance that has been, again, legally designed to be able to confuse people, divide people, and to disconnect them from themselves. Yeah.
Speaking of the legal realm, yesterday when we were talking, you compared the heroin, I believe it was a heroin
Yes.
addict and a sugar addict.
Yes.
Now, can you explain the similarities
Yes.
of both a heroin addict and a sugar addict? What are the similarities? Because not many people would make that correlation.
Yeah.
Say, oh, heroin, sugar, heroin. They'll be like, not sure about that.
I personally don't have any experience when it comes to, high drugs like that. Like, I know people, but I wouldn't be able to tell you like what they feel, essentially. But I can say, and if you are heavily on drugs, I highly encourage you not to be, and for you to seek medical help, right, from a professional. And yes, and I do want to say that the correlation here is that it's highly addictive. It is highly addictive, and essentially, you're trying to mask some type of pain with self-sabotaging behaviors. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Self-sabotaging behaviors come from these substances because of pain, of trauma, and it's a comfort. Right. So the comparison from heroin to sugar is that it's extremely highly addictive and extremely highly to get out of that rhythm. So it is very important for you to just step in a gym, get some help from a personal trainer, get somebody to help you out, and really just take it day by day.
Yeah, lower your sugar intake.
Yes, lower it.
Because it is addictive.
It is.
Like, we don't really look at it for what it actually is. We play around with the idea of sugar addiction. But this is, what you're saying is that this is actually a big problem.
Oh man.
This, like you said, it opens up a lot more diseases. And just touch on that. What can somebody who's intaking a lot of sugar expect when it comes to
unfulfillment? They can expect unfulfillment and essentially not getting towards their goals and achieving them and being content with where they are currently. A lot of people that heavily intake sugar really wander. Doesn't mean that they're lost, right? But they wander because they aren't confident in themselves because of how they look. So that is my biggest thing. And you know what? A lot of people will say, well, there's a person for everybody out there. Yes, that is true. And yes, you are possibly compatible with somebody that is on your same frequency level of dietary frequency in that case. But is it healthy? No. Do you enjoy it? Possibly. But deep down, you're still in pain. So it is very important for us to attack the root cause of what is going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Now, let's touch upon the history of processed sugar. How did we get here to the point where we can be in Vietnam, lovely Da Nang, and we can see a Coca-Cola bottle? We can go to any restaurant any five-star hotel, any hotel,
Yeah.
anywhere that serves food and beverage, we can find a Coke, we can find a Fanta. What is processed sugar? How did we get here?
I believe that we got here through branding, marketing, and business. I mean, there's only one way to control a human being or a mass group of people, is what you feed them, right? When back in the days, to keep a slave, you know, they would first put him to work, but they would feed him what they wanted to feed him in order for them to either work or not work. And the truth is that whatever you feed a human being is how you control their psyche. So it is very important for us to recognize and be aware of what we're consuming in order, and that is not only ingesting and through the stomach and, I mean, you know, through the mouth and ingesting, I said that, but visually and auditorily as well.
Right.
Yeah. Very important.
So, you're from Puerto Rico, right?
Yes.
So, I remember yesterday when you said that Puerto Rico is an extension of America, which was very interesting to me,
That it is.
right? Sugar, and you said to me something very interesting. You said sugar comes from that natural source called sugar cane.
Yes.
How did we get from sugar cane, where it's organic from the earth, to what we have now?
Once you strip a human being out of their natural resources, you disconnect them from Mother Earth, and once you disconnect them from Mother Earth, it's almost impossible for somebody to go back or to try and, you know, nobody wants to pick sugar cane. Nobody wants to cut it. Nobody wants to, you know, plant their own meals and become a farmer or, you know, work in agriculture. This is antiquated. It's not going to work. We're not going to go backwards. This is just how the world is going to work. We're moving into the future, so we are in the future, and this is just how the world is going. So it's more important for us not to focus on how we got here, but how we can get better and how can we find these natural resources in order for us to continue to strive as human beings and healthy ones at that. Yeah, for real. Because, you know, like, you know, the whole point of evolution for me personally is that we continue to learn new things in order for us to continue to grow. And as time continues to go on, as people become more acquainted with AI and people become more sedentary and these lifestyles continue to evolve, we just have to stay focused on where we're getting our resources from. And you know, you might want to ask AI to see where you can get it from. But if it comes from the ground, if it comes from Earth, right, without pesticides or chemicals in it, I think you should be fine.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Yes.
It's when it goes into the processor and we start to see rows and rows in the supermarket of biscuits, cheese, like we see rows. I walk into the supermarket and half the supermarket is just crap.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's just crap. But going back to what you were saying, it's the packaging. Because when you look at the packaging of it, it's always bright colors. It's always a happy face. It's always somebody smiling.
Yeah.
And it's always has maybe something kid friendly in there to attract and get them addicted. I saw a video, Julian, quite recently of a kid, a toddler. I think they were 6 months, 7 months old, right?
Yeah.
And this family gave them a piece of chocolate, or I think it was, they gave them a piece of chocolate. The kid went absolutely nuts, right? So it tasted the chocolate. It was like, and then it went, Then it grabbed. It literally just went crazy.
Yeah.
Give me. Do you think that is normal for a child to have that insatiable reaction to such a thing called sugar?
Yes, it is 100% normal for a child to literally become a pre-fiend. A pre-fiend, because if you think about it, caffeine, fiend at the end of the fiend, right? So it is morphine, exactly. So it's very highly addictive. So sucrose, malacrose, all these things, dextrose, all these scientific names, right? They're just genetically modified to work. And once you separate a child from their mother right off the rip, and you give them Similac, which is synthetic milk, right? Synthetic lactose, then you automatically disconnect the baby from knowing what reality is. And at the end of the day, it's a very tough topic because it is extremely highly addictive, and there is a lot that we aren't aware of or choose to be ignorant and dive into. So it really is just based off of how you choose to perceive what you want in life. Period. Yeah.
100%. How long can I ask you? How long have you had this knowledge, and how long have you implemented not eating the sweets and just taking care of your diet? How many years? Or let's say how long?
Years. It's been quite some time, but thoroughly I'd say like 3 years now.
3 years.
3 years. Big difference. Big change. Very big change in my physique and how I feel. And truly, just it's not easy. It really isn't easy. I used to eat Oreos every single day. I used to eat Chips Ahoy's every single day. I was a fiend, man, to sugar. I was definitely a fiend to sugar. But it really is.
How did you feel, by the way, when you were eating and when you were eating that much sugar consistently? What was your take us back to?
I had the worst flatulence. I had the worst digestive issues. I couldn't really sleep. I really used to get a lot of canker sores in my mouth. I had bad breath. So these are all signs like your bowel movement, right? Like how you excrete all the waste in your body. No muscle growth. So I didn't really have muscle. I probably had like 20% body fat, which is insane.
Wow.
And that is normal now for the regular human being.
Right.
Yeah. So it made me feel, if I'm honest with you, it made me feel like shit, Excuse my language. It made me feel like shit. And I didn't become conscious until I got the information. Until I actually read a book and applied it. Because a lot of people know a lot of things, and this is true. Everybody knows everything. And this is why it is extremely intense and saturated. We have so much saturated markets because of, a lot of people say that information is good, but a lot of information, I don't know if it's so good because now you become accustomed to all of this information. Now it registers in your brain like, oh, I already seen that. Yeah, I know that I don't have to eat sugar, but I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah. It's like that. There's a saying that says, people usually say knowledge is power.
Yes.
I disagree. Knowledge is only potential power. Applied knowledge is then where the power is.
Yes.
Don't just be a consumer of just knowledge and knowledge and knowledge and knowledge. Apply it in the most crucial areas, which is our health.
Yes.
If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. The money that you're working for, the family that you're with, the new car that you have, all the materialistic things that you own, it will be useless if
Lost.
you can't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
There's a saying, you said a saying, I'm going to say a saying. It says, you can have a million problems and solve every single one of them, but once your health is your one problem, all of the million problems go away and now you just have one, right? So very important.
So any final thoughts here in regarding to sugar? So what is the core message that you want to leave behind for everybody that stayed on this video till the end here?
My core message is that you can do it, man. You can really do it. You can really change, You just got to drop your earth-guided only mindset, which is your ego, and put everything to the side. And if you value longevity and health, then you'll see it as a priority. And if not, then, you're going to be prone to possibly not lasting as long.
Absolutely.
And it really is just on you at that point, And sometimes it is genetic, Sometimes it is genetic, but everything that is genetic can be reversed. So physical activity, get into, let go of those old friends, get out of those old communities that revolve around cycles, and really just isolate for a little bit, get to know who you are, figure out your identity.
Personal growth.
Personal growth.
Yeah.
Applied knowledge and personal growth. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my final core message. And I believe that you can do it, but you also need faith. You need faith, and you need to believe in something in order for you to try something new. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much to Julian. Obviously, Julian has become a recurring character here, or whilst we're in Da Nang. Hit him up, guys. The guy is a nutritional expert.
I appreciate that.
And the way, some of the things that he's been telling me has actually impacted my life, and also the people that I'm talking to. You know, the people that I'm talking to, I'm even saying to them, hey guys, I know this dude told me about sugar, and they're like, whoa, do you know what? You're right. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to cut out all. I was talking to one of my boys here, Troy. Troy, if you're listening to this, yeah, it's you.
Troy.
He was basically saying, I wait a minute. I'm going to look at my fridge right now.
Yeah.
And what he saw, it was actually frightening. He was on the phone with me saying, yo, my house is full of this, and no wonder why my parents or, you know, my friends are very much ill.
Yeah.
It's because of the food that we are eating. Guys, we gotta be very mindful of this very thing. Because what you put, like what Julian says, what you put inside your body will directly affect how you feel. I have been no sugar. I've been on a no sugar, only natural sugars like fruit.
Nice.
For about 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
My sleep is absolutely better. I wake up naturally at 5 o'clock. I've got more energy. I can think more clearly. I can focus. And it's only when I had that information, that's when I saw the change.
Okay.
Right? So, guys, if you don't take anything from this video, try it. Give yourself maybe a week.
Yeah.
A week, see how you feel.
Yeah.
If you don't notice the change, fine. You can say, do you know what? It didn't work. But commit to it. 1 week, no sugar, just fruit. Keep it healthy and see how you feel.
That's it. And just remember that it takes 21 days to break a habit, so don't give up too fast. We're in a generation where, you know, it's instant gratification era, so, you know, you're not going to see results tomorrow, next month, or the next month, so you got to at least do a year.
Absolutely.
You got to do a year.
You gotta want it.
Want it. You got to want it. 1 year of your life. Imagine if you can fix or enhance the next 50, 25 years of your life with just 1 year of dedication. That's all it's going to take.
Great, incredible.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Nice one.
Nice to talk to you.